WPA. So as you can see, we already broke the WPA encryption. Now I found the key over here like XXXYY123. So was this easy? No, it's not. It wasn't, because it was very easy to get the handshake, right? But it was not easy to create the word list. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. But even if you have waited for some time and if you didn't find your key, even if you are sure that your key is in your word list, okay? In my case, I was sure. So make sure you go to the handshake, delete the handshake, and come back to the AeroDump-ng. So remember the AeroDump-ng. Run this one more time and do the authentication attack and see for yourselves that you can gather the handshake one more time. So it doesn't always work, but it works like more than 90-95% of the time, at least in my own experience. But like in some little cases, it can cause some problems. So make sure that you get the right handshake. So if it doesn't work, just do it again. So over here, I found this key because I knew what was my key, right? So I just gave some like a very little input over there, like XY123. So we basically cheated. So what happens if I don't know the password? And that should be the case, right? So I can still use the crunch. So it's a great tool. But in order to use the crunch, you should have some kind of a guess or estimate about what password might be. Like if you're if you're authorized to hack into a restaurant's network, for example, and let's say it's a James restaurant. So there's a possibility that it has the James restaurant inside of its password, right? Or at least the word James. So maybe you can just use the JMS, something like that. You can try to narrow down the possibilities if you're going to use the crunch. So you should do that. Otherwise, it will get too big. You cannot actually use every possibility to try, because even if you have the storage in order to do that, you won't have the time. So let me try and connect to the internet if I can. Let me see if I can. Yep, here we go. We are getting this from the NET network, I believe. So I'm going to show you a website called GPU Hashcrack, or you can just Google this, because I'm not going to show you one website. So I know this GPUhash.me, okay? But there are also other alternatives as well. So what this kind of websites do is that they actually let you create a task. Like you can try to upload a handshake and try to let it run this WPA decryption process for you. So in many cases, it asks for the BSSID and ESSID as well. And you can just drag and drop the .cap file over here and let it do the job. So many of the services asks for a fee, by the way. They won't do this for like a free of change, but I know that GPUhash.me, at least for now, does this for free. Maybe it's not very fast as you might think since it's free, but it's actually going to be faster than doing it on your own Kali Linux. Okay, so this is one alternative as well, like in order to just increase the speed of trying. And it also has its own word list, so you can use the ready-to-go word list as well. So let me show you another one. Make sure you find the file system in your Kali Linux. If you go to USR, the user, and then the share, okay, under the user share, you're going to find some folder called word lists. So let me find it. Here you go, word list. So under this word list, there are some pre-created, like ready-to-go word list already. And these are the word lists that you can actually try your decryption with as well. Like there is a fasttrack.txt over here. As you can see, it's very easy, by the way. It's like it's a very small file, like maybe like 150 or 200 passwords inside of it. So they try to use the most common passwords like this. Okay, so people think that adding this @ or exclamation points are safe, but it's not. So you can try this ready-to-go word list as well. Like there is a very famous one, like RACU.txt. Okay, so I believe it's zipped right now. So I'm gonna just open it and unzip it. Okay, just drag and drop it anywhere you want. Okay, like this. And this is a very big, and it contains a lot of information, a lot of passwords inside of it. And you can try to open this and see for yourself that it has a lot of passwords inside of it. Now let me try to open this with LeafPad or anything. Like you can double click on it. You don't have to open it. I just want to show you how it's constructed. But since it's too big, I believe it's more than 100 megabytes. Yeah, here you go. It has a lot of passwords over here as well. Like they try to gather the most commonly used passwords from various sources, and they create a word list for you. Right, you can use this. You can use this against the handshake that you have. You don't have to use crunch. So, for example, let me show you. I can just copy this fasttrack.txt, and fasttrack is very easy. Like it's less than 200 passwords, so it's not gonna work most of the time. But it's very small, so you can just copy and paste it. So I have my handshake file and the fasttrack.txt file over here. So rather than supplying the test word list, I can just supply the fasttrack.txt, right? So let me show you how it's done. So this is handshake file, and this is the fasttrack.txt. Now I can just go it with the aircrack-ng, and handshake file is okay. And for the w parameter over here, I'm just gonna say fasttrack.txt, and that's it. So it immediately found out that there's no key stored over here, and it tested the 144 keys very quickly, right? And it couldn't find the password. But maybe there can be XXXYY123 inside of RACU.txt. I don't know what. You can use this pre-created fast track or the RACU.txt, and also other files and folders. There are a lot of word lists over there. You can check for yourselves, and you can use them. So we have seen the crunch as an alternative, and also services like GPUHashMe, and also the pre-created word list as well. And you can find a lot of pre-created word lists online, not only inside of Kali Linux as well. And we have to talk about this a little bit, because I get this question a lot. Sometimes people ask that, yeah, in my country, people do not use English passwords. For example, a lot of people say that, yeah, I'm from Netherlands or I'm from Germany. So where can I find some German word list or like a Dutch word list? So I have found many word lists by just Googling it, right? So let me show you a Turkish word list. So most of you won't even need this, but since the Turkish is my native language, I just had to find it and show it to you. And I just put it on my GitHub, so you don't have to do what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to share this link with you. So I found this on GitHub. Okay, so this is github.com, my name, and it's you can see the URL over here. Okay. So it's Turkish word list, and maybe you won't need that, but you can find that kind of information for your own native languages as well. And if you're from the US or UK, or if your native language is already English, again, you may find yourself in some kind of web pen testing or like a network pen testing that you actually need some other languages word list, and you can actually search it on Google or GitHub, and you will find it. I promise. And as you can see, I have this wordless.txt over here. Let me show you, if you find something on GitHub, how you can actually deal with this. You can always come over here and click on the code and download this as a zip file. Or you can just find this, okay? You can find the URL of this Git. And by the way, if you have never seen or heard about GitHub before, GitHub is where we actually share the projects, like software projects, and also implement the version controlling, okay? So it's already embedded in Kali. So if you write Git, you can see it's already inside of the Kali Linux as well. So if you say git clone and paste the thing that you have found, okay, you can just try it with this URL as well, because it will be there. Maybe you won't do much with the Turkish wordless, but I'm just showing you this as an example. If you say git clone and just supply this Git URL over there, it will download everything, it will clone everything inside of your Kali Linux, and you will be able to reach those wordless, okay? Maybe you don't want to do that for Turkish one, maybe you may want to do that for a German one, or like maybe Indian one, I don't know, but you can find it. You can find it your own for your own language, or a language that you're trying to find it, by just Googling it out or just searching it on the GitHub, because many people just share their wordless in order to have some kind of contribution on the cybersecurity ecosystem. So after you download this wordless, of course, it's very easy to use them, right? You can just use them with aircrack ng. But also, there is another reason that I'm doing this, because you may want to check your own passwords and make yourself safer as well. For example, once I found this Turkish wordless, of course, I checked for my own password to see if it was there. If it was there, then I would change my passwords, not only from the wireless networks, by the way, from all the websites as well, because they can try to brute force the websites if they can using that kind of password list. So over here, now as you can see, it's already been cloned, it's already been downloaded for me. Now if I double click on it, I can see the wordless. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on my root folder or wherever I am, so that I can use it with my handshake file over here, like I have done before. Okay, so rather than saying handshake fasttrack.txt, now I can just say Turkish wordless or anything I want. Okay, so you know how this works, like this. And as you can see, the thing that I found has like a lot of keys inside as well. Of course, I'm not going to wait until it's done, because I know what my password is, but I just wanted to show you how it works out. So if you find something from the GitHub, you can actually use it very easily, like this. So again, the checking side, the controlling your password side is important as well. So I'm going to close this down and show you how it's done, because since it will contain a lot of passwords in your case as well, you cannot actually see it with your own eyes, because let me try to cat this, okay? And as you can see, it has a lot of passwords over here. You cannot even control F and try to find your passwords, because it is so much that the above version, the above side of the terminal will be erased by the time you reach the end of the site, okay? So you're going to have to find out a way to make this very easy for you. So I have a lot of things over here. So what we can do, we can still cat this. It means that print out what's inside of it. But also we can use this sign. So this is called piping sign, and you can do this with pressing Alt and Dash, or Option or Dash on your keyboard. And what it does is that it actually takes the output of this cat wordless. Okay, it doesn't show it to the user. It actually transfers it to the right-hand side of the piping sign. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this output from here and grab. So grab comes from grabbing. Grab something like your password. So for example, I'm just going to write my own name, Atil, and assume that my password is Atil, and try to see if Atil is over here. Okay, and of course it shows me everything that contains Atil, not only the Atil, but you can make it very specific as well. Like you can just say Atil Sem, for example, and it's not there. Okay, so I can go on, and I can just try this for my every password. Like this is called password in Turkish, and as you can see, it's there, and it's not very secure to do that, but you got the idea, I believe. You can find a word list on your own language as well. You can try to run this against a handshake, and also you can actually run this against your own password as well to see if you're using a secure password, or if your password is out there on every word list. So if your password is on some word list, I really suggest you guys to change your password, okay, because it won't be very secure for you. So that's why we are having this section as well. So we're gonna stop here.